My dear students, now I am going to explain limiting molar conductivity. Limiting molar conductivity. See, in previous lecture, already I have explained that on dilution, molar conductivity increases. On dilution, molar conductivity increases. At infinite dilution, that molar conductivity reaches a maximum value. That molar conductivity is called limiting molar conductivity. On dilution, attraction between the ions, distance between the ions increases. As the distance between the ions increases, interionic forces decreases, then mobility of ions increases, so conductivity increases. At infinite dilution, that molar conductivity reaches a maximum value. That molar conductivity is called limiting molar conductivity. So molar conductivity of an electrolyte molar conductivity of an electrolyte at infinite dilution is called limiting molar conductivity. Molar conductivity of an electrolyte at infinite dilution is called limiting molar conductivity, which is denoted by lambda naught m. See here, infinite dilution. Infinite dilution means infinite amount of solvent is not added. Infinite dilution means infinite amount of solvent is not added. If we take 1 milliliter of electrolyte solution, for this 1 milliliter of electrolyte solution, 1000 liters or 2000 liters of solvent is not added. Let us take one electrolytic solution. I am taking 1 milliliter, volume in milliliters, molar conductivity in Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Let us take 1 milliliter of electrolytic solution. To that 1 milliliter of electrolytic solution, molar conductivity is 0.2. 0.2 Simon centimeter square mole inverse, which on dilution. For example, that 1 milliliter of electrolytic solution is diluted to 2 milliliters. Then its molar conductivity increases to 0.21. Just let us assume which on dilution molar conductivity increases to 0.2 to 0.21. On further dilution, volume increases. Let it is 3 milliliters and 0.22, 4 milliliters, 0.23. So on further dilution, let us take 10 milliliters of electrolyte solution. For that 0.3. Next 11 milliliters, 0.3 only. 12 milliliters, 0.3 only. After reaching this volume, it remains constant. So up to this volume, molar conductivity increases. For 1 milliliter 0.2, for 10 milliliters 0.3, which on further dilution also no further change. There is no further increase in molar conductivity. After reaching this volume, it remains constant. So this conductivity, this molar conductivity is called limiting molar conductivity. So here infinite amount of solvent is not added. 1 to 10 milliliters up to this volume it increases, but after reaching this volume even on further dilution also there is no change, there is no increase in the molar conductivity. So this molar conductivity is called limiting molar conductivity, and this volume is called limiting volume point. Limiting volume point, this volume is called limiting volume point. So in case of strong electrolytes, how that molar conductivity increases, and in case of weak electrolytes, how it increases, I'll explain. Let us take strong electrolytes. For strong electrolytes, on dilution, molar conductivity increases. but it increases slowly only. For strong electrolytes, molar conductivity increases slowly on dilution, not largely. That increase not large, just increases on dilution. Molar conductivity increases, but not very high. It increases slowly only. And this can be explained by using this equation. Lambda is equal to lambda naught m minus a into root of c. For effective dilution can be explained by using this equation. This is called Debye-Heckel-Onsager equation. This equation is called Debye-Heckel-Onsager equation. Lambda m is equal to lambda naught m minus a into root c. This lambda m is molar conductivity. Lambda naught m is limiting molar conductivity. This is concentration. This A is constant. This A is constant. This equation is similar to y is equal to mx plus c equation. This equation is similar to y is equal to mx plus c. Lambda m is equal to minus a into root of c plus lambda naught m. Y is equal to mx plus c when graph is plotted between molar conductivity and root of concentration. Y is equal to, on y axis I am taking molar conductivity, y is equal to mx plus c. Mx on x axis root of concentration. Y is equal to mx plus c. So here for strong electrolytes, molar conductivity increases slowly on dilution. It increases like this. For strong electrolytes, molar conductivity increases slowly only. See, on dilution is nothing but, on dilution concentration decreases. On dilution volume increases, concentration decreases. So as concentration decreases, see here from right to left, concentration decreases. As concentration decreases, volume increases, or dilution nothing but concentration decreases. As concentration decreases, molar conductivity increases, but it increases slowly only. At this point, after reaching this point, even on further dilution also, there is no increase in the molar conductivity. There is no change in the molar conductivity. This is called limiting molar conductivity. After reaching this point, even on further dilution also, see here root of c becomes 0. Concentration becomes 0. At infinite dilution, concentration becomes 0. So here it reaches maximum value. It gives limiting molar conductivity. So here y-intercept is this one. It gives limiting molar conductivity. In this equation, this lambda naught m is limiting molar conductivity. So that is y-intercept. Y-intercept gives limiting molar conductivity. Molar conductivity is equal to limiting molar conductivity minus a into root of c. This a is constant. That a is constant. This a value depends on type of electrolytes. At a given temperature for a given solvent, at a given temperature and for a given solvent, this a value depends on type of electrolyte. Type of electrolyte, that is charges on cation and anion. A value depends on type of electrolytes, that is charges on cation and anion of electrolytes. Type of electrolyte, that is charges on cation and anion of electrolyte. On dissociation when dissolved in solvent. If we take sodium chloride, this is 1,1 type electrolyte. If we take magnesium chloride, this is 2,1 type electrolyte. If we take magnesium sulfate, this is 2,2 type electrolyte. If you take sodium chloride, this is 1 type electrolyte. That means Na plus 1, Cl minus 1. So this is 1 type electrolyte. For 1 type electrolytes, this A value is constant. A value is common for 1 type electrolytes, but for a given solvent and at a given temperature. For sodium chloride, potassium chloride, rubidium chloride, see all these are 1 type electrolytes. For all these electrolytes, this A value is constant. For 2 type electrolytes, take MgCl2, Mg plus 2, Cl minus 1. So this is 2 type electrolyte. For MgCl2, for CaCl2, SrCl2, these are 2 type electrolytes. For all these electrolytes, A value is common. This MgSO4 is 2 type electrolytes. Mg plus 2, SO4 minus 2, 2 type electrolytes. Not only MgSO4, MgSO4, CaSO4, etc. So in this equation, this A is constant. For a given solvent and at given temperature, this A values depends on type of electrolyte. That is charges on cation and anion of electrolyte. Next, if we take weak electrolytes, for weak electrolytes, in case of strong electrolytes, on dilution, molar conductivity increases slowly only. Molar conductivity increases, but increases very small. If we take weak electrolytes, that increase is very large. In case of weak electrolytes, that molar conductivity increases, but that increase is large. See, when graph is plotted between molar conductivity and root of concentration. That molar conductivity increases like this. As dilution increases, dilution increases is nothing but concentration decreases. As root of concentration decreases, molar conductivity it increases. See, but that increase is very high. Here also increases, but that increase is very less. But in case of weak electrolytes, increase is large. Why for weak electrolytes that increase is large on dilution? Why the increase in molar conductivity is large in case of weak electrolytes? We can explain like this. First, let me take one strong electrolyte, HCl. HCl is strong acid. We know that for strong acids, alpha is 1. Strong acids are strong electrolytes. For strong electrolytes, alpha value is 1. That means it undergoes complete dissociation. Strong electrolytes can undergo complete dissociation. If we take 100 HCl molecules, it can give 100 H plus ions and 100 Cl minus ions. If we take 200 HCl molecules, it gives 200 H plus ions and 200 Cl minus ions. Because in case of strong electrolytes, alpha is always 1. They can undergo complete dissociation. So here, after dissociation, total 200 ions are there. Even which on further dilution also. This electrolytic solution on dilution, there is no change in the number of ions. With this HCl solution on further dilution also, there is no change in the number of ions. But distance between the ions increases. As distance increases, interionic forces decreases. As interionic forces decrease, mobility of ions increases. Then conductivity increases. Molar conductivity increases. In case of strong electrolytes, even on further dilution also, there is no change in the number of ions. Just interionic forces decrease. As interionic forces decrease, mobility of ions increase. Then molar conductivity increase. If we take weak electrolytes, let us take acetic acid. Acetic acid is weak acid. We know that weak acids are weak electrolytes. Weak acids are weak electrolytes which on dissociation gives acetate ions and H plus ions. Acetic acid on dissociation gives acetate ions and H plus ions. Let us take 100 acetic acid molecules. It cannot give 100 acetate ions and 100 H plus ions because in case of weak electrolytes, alpha value is always less than 1. In case of weak electrolytes, alpha value is always less than 1. Suppose if it undergoes 10% dissociation, the acetic acid, if it undergoes 10% dissociation, then number of acetate ions 10, number of H plus ions also 10. If it undergoes 10% dissociation, from that 100, only 10 acetic acid molecules undergo dissociation. Then 10 acetate ions, 10 H plus ions. This acetic acid solution on dilution, which on dilution, its degree of dissociation increases. If it increases to 20%, from that 100, 20 acetic acid molecules undergo dissociation. Then 20 acetate ions and 20 H plus ions. At this 10% dissociation, number of ions 20. At 20% dissociation, number of ions 40. So as dilution increases, degree of dissociation increases, the number of ions increases. As the number of ions increases, the number of ions increases is nothing but number of ions carrying current increases. Number of ions increase in nothing but conductivity increases. So that increase in conductivity is, increase in molar conductivity is very high. In case of strong electrolytes, even on further dilution also, there is no change in the number of ions. Just interionic forces decrease. As interionic forces decrease, mobility of ions increase. But in case of weak electrolytes, on further dilution, number of ions increase. As the number of ions increase in molar conductivity is very high. Whereas in case of strong electrolytes, there is no increase in the number of ions. That's why here increase is very less. In case of strong electrolytes, on dilution, molar conductivity increases, but that increase is very less only. But in case of weak electrolytes, on dilution, molar conductivity increases. That increase is very large. So increase very large. By using this graph, we can calculate limiting molar conductivity. For strong electrolytes, by using this graph, limiting molar conductivity can be determined. Because at infinite dilution, means at zero concentration, it reaches this maximum value. Whereas in case of weak electrolytes, as dilution increases, this molar conductivity keep on increasing. This is not touching this y-axis, but here it is touching this y-axis. This point gives limiting molar conductivity. But in case of weak electrolytes, this is not touching. So for weak electrolytes, limiting molar conductivity cannot be determined by using this graph. But for strong electrolytes, by using this graph, limiting molar conductivity can be determined. But for weak electrolytes, it cannot be determined because this is not touching this y-axis. To determine limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes, this Kohl-Rasch law can be used. By using Kohl-Rasch law, limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes can be determined at infinite dilution, at zero concentration. Limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes can be determined by using this Kohl-Rasch law. But for strong electrolytes, we can determine by using this graph. So this Kohl-Rasch law, I'll explain in next lecture.